Look at
Yeah,
all that
can
Attack of the Clones original stuff right there. Look at that case.
oh, love it. Oh my God. I'm coming to your house. Look how
How
Whoa.
neat that is.
Yeah, look at that. He has so many of them.
Oh
That's
my
so awesome.
God. No.
Wow, look at that. That is nice.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
Well, let's find out.
All right, folks. Star Wars Day is upon us. I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're enjoying some of the content here on my channel and hopefully other people as well. But with me, as promised, Chris, the Padawannabe, is going to show us some of the prequel toys, which are just, they're clones everywhere. I'm so excited, brother, that you're going to do this with us. Let's, I don't want to waste time. Let's just jump right to, let's go around the room a little bit and kind of see some of the stuff that you got going on here.
Okay, so quick tour. You can't really see it over here, but I have a box of episode 3 figures similar to what's behind me. I got a box of episode 1, some episode 2, like we're saying today, mostly clones for me. And then I got a ton of episode 2 stuff. That was really the explosion when they introduced all the Jedi, all the different clones. And then I have everybody's favorite stuff, the lightsabers when we were kids. These ones were cool because they made all the sounds and did all the different colors, and it was it was a thing when when growing up. I was like, it'd really be cool. My brother was he was born in '90, so he was, right around 10 years old when the first 2 movies came out. So I was like, oh, it'd be really cool if for Easter, let's get them each color lightsaber. But at $25 a piece back then, it was a pretty expensive endeavor. But the idea was cool. Because they had orange and green and purple and blue and green, all the different colors. And then I got a couple masks back there from the Clone Wars series, the electronic ones. They'll actually go on your head and make some noises for you, which is fun. And then, here, let me take these off real quick.
Star Wars, the Clone Wars.
It's an ambush!
The Clone Commander Blaster is 3 blasters in 1. Close combat pistol, rapid fire blaster. And for the bigger droids, the heavy rifle.
Clone Commander Blaster and Rex helmet, each sold separately, batteries not included.
I actually went to Toys R Us at midnight when they released all this stuff in like a pre-sale.
I have you now.
New Star Wars Transformers. Mech mode or vehicle mode. The warriors change, but the battle for the galaxy rages on.
Most impressive.
Star Wars Transformers. Each sold separately, actual change time will vary.
Here's our clone shuttle.
And then, this is something I was kind of proud of back then from the Gendy Tarkovsky series. And then I'll be very happy to get all this stuff back on display. But this is one of the, the Clone Republic gunships. And that's actually from the first time we get introduced to Grievous which if anybody knows the backstory, the Genndy Tartakovsky ones were actually pure tie-ins to Revenge of the Sith, which I thought was really cool. Explains a little bit of Grievous.
Yeah, we have a great video. We have a great video with Joker Voice talking about Clone Wars, both the movie and the series, and how it ties in and stuff like that. So before we get too far from it, turn around right there behind you. Those little—they're not Funkos; they're something else. The other direction.
That's right. These guys.
Let's start with those little guys down there, because most people have probably not have seen those before.
So these are Mighty Mugs, and these came out the pre-Funko Pop era. And these ones actually have a little bit of movement to them. You can move the heads. The legs don't move, but the arms move. So surprisingly, you can get some fairly good looking poses out of these guys. And again, being a Genndy Tartakovsky fan, as I was, where is it? Well, Saz Ventress. Oh, and here, this is the other one. And then, of course, that's where we got introduced to Captain Rex. So I thought these were some of the cool things that I collected back then. This one I thought was kind of neat. Of course, Darth Vader is part of the Clone Wars era, but this one I thought was neat because you kind of flip them off, and then you can shows the little Return of the Jedi face there. So, oh, get to see you with my own eyes, you know. So, so I thought these were pretty cool. Let's see, I got Darth Maul. So many good characters that were introduced in the prequel era. Jango Fett, you know, as we learn the beginning of it all. And then we got Grievous here with his collection of lightsabers. And these I actually have quite a bit more, but I'm going over the clone era right now. So, and then I thought it was really neat. The gimmick with these guys, I ain't got Anakin here, of course. General Anakin. The gimmick with these guys is you always had like one accessory with them. Most of the Jedi and Sith would have a lightsaber, obviously, but then we would have several, like Rex got dual wielding pistols, Saj came with an extra lightsaber, Jango came with a jetpack and an extra pistol, and then Darth Vader had the removable helmet and the feature there, and then we also have Commander Cody here, who comes with his pistol here also. But I was really a big fan of these things. I thought they were very Powerpuff kind of inspired at the time, and I thought they were relatively cute and fun. And again, like I said, this was pre-Funko era, so when the Funkos came out, I just kind of looked at them like a recreation.
What were these called again?
Mighty Mugs.
Mighty Mugs.
Mugs like your mug, your face.
Sure.
So, and yeah, they all have the basic design. And then when I get into some other ones, Yoda actually has his ears that stick off his head, which is kind of funny. So, but these guys here, I'm pretty proud of those ones that I still have from back in the day. Because you just, yeah, I don't know. I bring them out every once in a while, and people are like, oh, yes, I do remember those. It's like that flash memory, but I don't know if I know anybody that owns. I've never seen anybody have these things still, you know. So I'm really, really happy I held on to these ones. And then you get into the later movies, like I have Luke Skywalker, where his hand gets cut off and the hand actually removes from the body. So that's kind of a kick. And they did these ones all through the series, Return of the Jedi. So I've got probably twice this many once I get them out on display on the shelves and whatnot.
All right. Well, take us in the general area over there around the room, or hold something else up here. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Mighty Mugs. I only like vaguely remember those. I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. It's that era. There's, again, when you were mentioning stuff, just about every video you do now, you're mentioning, God, you know, there was so much available back then, you kind of had to pick and choose. And the merchandising was crazy across the board. Star Wars especially. I mean, this is one of those things. Let's make little dolls, not just action figures. You know, we're widening out our range, and we'll see a few other things I have here. And we can listen to these guys real quick. I thought these were pretty cool. I can actually do these ones up to the mic. So these are... Whoop.
Let's move. Go, go, go. We've got trouble. The clankers have sent reinforcements. Explosives are in place. Prime the detonators.
Oh, let me turn it on.
Jedi are so predictable.
But yeah, these things, I got a kick out of these things back in the day. I was a big fan of the Clone Wars series. Both the Lucasfilm series and the Gendy Tarkovsky one. So let's see, I'll show this real quick. We'll go again with some more of the merchandising. This one I thought is really cool. Star Wars actually mixed with Transformers. Now, while I'm not going to transform this one, I have some that I can show that are done if we want to see them. But this one I thought was fairly unique. It's Darth Vader's Jedi Starfighter, all in black. Which
I still have one like that. I think I have a Rebel one. I'm not sure which one I have.
And then I have, of course, we all know the normal Jedi Starfighter. Anakin's is yellow, and then Obi-Wan, all the different Jedi have their different colors. But I thought this was interesting because this was not, I don't even know if there's a time when this actually would have happened. So I thought it was really cool, but I'm kind of excited because the little projectiles still work. Oop, taking the wing off. Where's the button? Ha, it's been a while. What are the firing mechanisms? But I can show you guys what this looks like. You got the landing gear that comes down. That's fully retractable. Got the wings that come out. And those are all things that will need to be done when...
So cool.
You do. There it is. So those still pop out. It's really hidden. It's not even a button or anything. It's just a little switch. It just comes out. But then you can see it comes apart fairly easy. And then all of these actually had a little figure in them. And this one has Darth Vader, Dark Lord. And I'll set this down because I have a few more of these.
So those are Transformer crossovers, right? Is that what they're called?
Yes, the Transformer crossover. So these actually would turn into robot forms of all of what they were. Everybody had their own vehicle, so everybody obviously was their own character. And then I have, this is probably the ones I have the most unopened still. I got the clone pilot, which is Republic gunship, which again is that Gendy Tarkovsky version. And then I have a Mace Windu Jedi Starfighter. And then I actually have the one from Attack of the Clones, which I thought these were cool. They tied in the hyperspace ring there. So that was really, again, the marketing at that time, I just couldn't believe how much stuff was available that wasn't action figures.
Yeah, and this stuff is still pretty expensive in the package. So you would have to, if you went to look around, these are actually the kinds of things you might be able to find at a thrift shop or a flea market or something like that, where you could find them out of the package, possibly a little bit of damage, or maybe they don't quite work or have all their parts yet, but get a good deal on.
And these ones, I went in pretty deep. These ones show the same pictures, but I actually have all those. And I have, well, these are kind of the same ones, but I actually have all these also. And then I probably got about 15 to 20 of these guys. I went, like I said, I went pretty deep on these. I just thought it was really cool. You know, put two things together that I really like. Sold. You know, again, the Lego Star Wars was really big then also. Really introducing a lot of stuff, not just from the Clone Wars, but all the original trilogy.
Guess the secret celebrity behind the Darth Vader voice changer. You could win great Star Wars toys or VIP movie tickets for 10. Nick.com's the place to enter your guess. A pro at 14 and on a roll ever since.
The Force is with you.
Clue number 2 coming next week. Ask an adult before going online. Many will enter, few will win.
line with the Legos. I got the... Where did I put that guy? I don't have it out at the moment, but I have a few of the old sets I just pulled out, and although I do have the boxes, I just opened these ones up recently, and some clones. This one I'm pretty proud of. They've reintroduced the 501st sets, but this is back from like 2006 or 7, around then, and it's got the assassin droid, or the... Well, I know them as assassin droids, but they're commando droid here. And then we have also this sniper droidica destroyer droid, which these are the normal versions that we're used to. And I really wanted to pull a lot more of these ones out, but building takes time, and I don't... wasn't really pushing the Legos this time. Also wanted to show this. I just thought that was cool. This was the cover that I wanted to get. There was several different versions, hardback, that you could have gotten, but what else was I going to get but Darth Maul? I mean,
I have the exact same one for the exact same reason.
That is just they all had similar kind of looks on them, pretty much a straight at the camera, but I just was like, that's very well worth it. And we were all... The hype train was huge for seeing him. This particular actor being this character was just... Everybody wanted it, and everybody was so happy about it. And he did wonderful.
And if you're into books, folks, let me pull myself up here while Chris gets set. If you're into the books, one of the things I recommend there, again, is look at used copies, look at bulk, things like that. You can pretty much find those, and especially if you're looking just to read them. Check your flea markets, check your yard sales, thrift stores. Goodwill has a website online, those kinds of things. So definitely plenty of opportunities there. All right, this is pretty cool.
Okay. So Action Fleet is kind of still a thing, which I'm kind of surprised. And if anybody remember, to me, this was just Micro Machines Star Wars. They have micro-sized ships, which I also have. Millennium Falcon, the Slave One. I'm proud to call it its actual name. I know what it identifies as. And I thought this was pretty cool. Just a little thing you picked up in a little store, but you get to see Anakin and Vader there. So I always kind of liked that. And since I wanted to show this, I knew this would get brought up. Just me talking. But since I have that Vader, I found this.
Oh, your actual ticket stub from Seeing Sith.
Yep. And this was kind of funny. When I went and saw this, although the date is kind of strange, this must have been a different... maybe I saw it a few times. But I took my brother to see Revenge of the Sith around Father's Day. And they were doing a promo, obvious Vader, it was kind of a joke. So I have just a little promo poster rolled up somewhere. It's of Vader, and it's Happy Father's Day, and it says, "Who's your daddy?" Which I thought was the strangest thing. But it made me giggle, and I still have that. So yeah, I thought it was funny that they were doing Revenge of the Sith was a Father's Day promotion. It was just a little odd gimmick they did.
Nerd humor.
Yeah. So okay, we're gonna lean into the figures. I'll introduce this piece here, because a lot of people remember the communication device they used in episode 1. So mine, fortunately, still works. So, and this itself comes with a few sounds, like the lightsabers and some laser blasts. And then we all got the little chip. And I know people that have stories. They're like, oh, I used to put all my chips on the one cord and they'd lose it or something. But I never opened any of my figures. got a good amount of space on this camera. Okay, who do we want? Yeah, there he is. Got a couple of the Darth Maul, different ones. Got Captain Tarful, although he's in pretty bad shape. This is the stuff I end up, I'll find stuff like this at the thrift store. And you can see it just yellowy and then it's pulling away a little bit. But still works.
That's awesome.
Oh wait, where is it? Where are you? So I'm trying to find one that would interact. I know Jar Jar interacts with him, but I know some of these other ones too. I should be able to do, let's see. This guy. Oh, that's wrong thing.
Let's go.
Let's see if he'll say something.
I'm a person and my name is Anakin.
Let's see. Trying to
Tripod menu.
find the ones that match up. Might be. We'll just pull all the rest of these out and I can show them off. So this, of course, I got the. This one is a little bit of a. I can't say a goof, but Mace Windu here has a blue lightsaber, which is a little odd. But this is before they really knew what they were doing. He didn't get his purple lightsaber until episode 2. But I thought that was a kind of a strange thing to have. And now it's like an oddity. So
I do not believe the Sith could have returned without us knowing.
yeah, I kind of remember Sam Jackson's voice a little deeper. And then I got some pit droids up here. So I thought those were pretty cool. They introduced a few of those. And then I also had some. This is something I wanted to build, but I didn't get built with those. I have the pod racers in Lego form, which is pretty cool. And then Darth Maul, I got him there. And then we got him with the actual double bladed. We got to hear him.
If the trace was correct, I will find them quickly, Master.
Queen Amidala. Well, yeah, that's Queen Amidala after she came out. And then let's see, I got C-3PO here. You can see sometimes I got the stickers on them, but most of the stuff I've been able to keep pretty clean, which is nice.
What do you mean, naked? My clothes are showing. Oh, my goodness.
That was the perfect one to have right in that spot. So I'll just keep throwing these out. We got Qui-Gon. Oh, I want to hear Qui-Gon. He's one of my favorites.
Feel. Don't think. Use your instincts.
Do you remember how massive the display was when they rolled these toys out? Because obviously they were anticipating like a massive sales run on everybody and buying them and stuff. It was just completely insane. Everywhere you went, they had these massive sections of the store, sometimes in the front of the store.
I'm kind of glad you said that. This is a low point in my life. I was so excited about the prequels coming out. I got to see, I mean, beyond seeing, first viewing, opening night in a great town, that midnight showing was super fun. But I actually went to Toys R Us at midnight when they released all this stuff in like a pre-sale. And all the figures they had there at the time weren't even the action figures that they were coming out with. And that's why I'm really disappointed, because I probably had about $200 worth of figures in a cart. And a lot of them, it was strange because it was similar to the Revenge of the Sith bubbles, but they would say like concept on them. And I remember seeing some figures that later came out in the series, and it was like, I really wish I would have got some of those figures, because those, I don't even know. I'm sure people have them. I'm sure people have lots of them, but that was something I was like, I really wish I could have kept those. But I just, at that point in time, you know, in my 20s, I'm thinking, what am I doing? You know, I'm trying to be sensible, trying to be responsible, but I do have the collection bug. So I put them all back. And I tried to tell myself I can't start collecting these because it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And that was the big regret, because I started seeing the episode 1 figures come out with their microchips, and I just thought that was the coolest thing I've seen. As a kid growing up, playing with other people, here, you say this, I'll say this, you say this, I'll say this. Now it does it for you, and in such a cool way. It was just so neat. And then, like, I was trying to figure ones that go together, because you can actually go through the whole movie. They'll play interactive dialogue that can feed off each other as long as you have the correct characters from all the scenes, which I thought, again, that was amazing. And then the little Comtech device can memorize the sounds and do all that stuff, which, again, is that kind of getting that nostalgia. God, I wish I had this stuff when I was a little boy. And the figures now can move. You know, you don't just get the, oh, let's put them, sit them down, and they do this kind of thing, which I always thought was hilarious. You know, we grew up, I had to make a choice, Star Wars or G.I. Joe. I chose Star Wars, and I got less articulation, but I got cooler stuff. So I had to make a choice with some things. And but later I decided, I don't know what I was thinking, and so I kind of started going in on the figures at that point. And unfortunately, that's a reason why I don't have as many of the episode 1 figures as everything else. But it's still fairly easy to find. There's a lot of stores in the area. I can find a lot of these figures. I've never paid over $10. Well, I haven't even paid $10 for any of these figures. And the ones I find around me are in really great shape. So, not a difficult thing to find. And from what I've seen, although I'm not trying to fill out the collection, not yet, so I don't know how difficult that could be to get every one.
All right. As Chris resets here, we'll go to a commercial break. Of course, we'll keep doing commercials in between some stuff here, showing you some of the commercials for some of the different toys and some of the different things that he's talking about, and we're reliving that experience with you guys. It's just a blast to be able to kind of reminisce and take you through that. So hopefully you're enjoying that.
Star Wars Transformers. The Death Star has the firepower to destroy entire planets. And now another top secret weapon you've never seen before. The Star Wars Darth Vader Death Star with a light up super laser. But this Death Star has Transformers technology, changing into the massive Darth Vader mech.
Join me on the dark side.
Now you can control the most devastating power in the galaxy. Star Wars Transformers Darth Vader Death Star. Actual change time will vary.
The Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot from the Star Wars action figures collection, each sold separately.
I'm Jawa. Wanna buy a droid? Sure, what you got?
It's R5-D4 and the power droid.
So.
And here's Greedo, Han Solo, and Walrus Man.
You've had it now, Solo. Yeah. Greedo, it's Ben Kenobi and his lightsaber. We're in trouble. Let's get out of here.
Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot, R5-D4, Greedo, and other action figures sold separately from Kenner.
Now, these are not the, they're Star Wars figures or official Lucasfilm, but these were not the actual collection. You know, when they're making the movies, these were just ones that came out kind of later on. You see the Saga Legends, you have some video game or some there's a cartoon reference there. There's a few fan choices in here. There's some movies. And then, like, here's a movie one here. I really like this Django in the parka. And these are the ones that, of course, came with coins. A lot of people remember those coins. And I thought these ones are really cool because this is really Clone Wars. Attack of the Clones is really where it takes off. And for me, growing up, such a huge fan of Boba Fett. Everybody talks about things that make them upset these days in Star Wars. I think I cried when Boba Fett fell in the pit. I was so disappointed and so just, I mean, for what? Well, I didn't find out he survived for 12 more years after that. So, I understand not liking something in Star Wars. So, like we say, here we go with the marketing. Again, let's make the exact same clone in a different color. And make...
That's not talked about enough, how much of that was done.
5 times as much money on there. So let me get and you know, being a fan of Boba Fett and then finding out, oh, he had a father, Django, and it kind of expanding on the Mandalorian lore that we find out isn't really part of the lore, but that introduced everything, and his armor and the way he looked was so cool. And then all of a sudden I get to see thousands of figures that look like him. And then they start coming out with all the different variations on the armors and things like that. Obviously, we get further into the phases. This one's definitely not your normal clone trooper armor. And again, we go into like the phase 2, phase 3 eras from just your basic... You know, and then I got one from the actual clone. See, this is the Clone Wars collection. It's more of the classic square bubble with the square packaging.
Do you have like a list of things that you're looking for or that you try to still get, or you just like everything is still very much impulse driven?
Well, it's kind of, I know if I make a list, it's over. It's going to become completionist time. I don't even... the thing is, with the Attack of the Clones collection, it got a little difficult. Because they started doing... Even if it says Collection 1 on it, they started doing other movies. Which was cool, because I ended up with... I'd have to look and see which actual collections they come from. But here, like, this is collection 2, this is collection 1, collection 1, collection 1, but then I have, like, here, okay. See, this is what I was referring to. Now, although it says collection 1, oh, I can do up here. We'll just do collection 1. This is actually from Empire Strikes Back. It's just a really good, you know, Chewbacca with R2 or C-3PO, and then I also have another Chewbacca that is from Empire Strikes Back when he's taking out the Minox under the Millennium Falcon. So that's what really started throwing me, is like, okay, what number do they even go up to? And you can imagine at this time, I mean, what I think this is 2002. Yeah, 2002. Jeez. So how much internet is there at that time? But I sure didn't have a computer. So even finding out how high the list went up was not something that I could just, you know, snap fingers and find at the time. And these,
That's true.
collection 1, collection 2, even though it's Attack of the Clones, but you can see collection 2 got a little orange, but then that's, again, it's got a little weird. Collection 1, but it's not the red. So at that point, I just started going, okay, need that. I buy when I have money. I never went out of my. He's like, oh, I'm passing by this Target or this Walmart at the time. It's like, oh, let's see if they have any ones that weren't at one of the other stores. And at the time, I was never buying in comic book stores because they were twice as much. And before all the prequel stuff came out, we were kind of relegated to, what was it? Power of the Force, right? So we ended up with these kind of figures, which I don't care how much time passes, I'm not as big of a fan of the Power of the Force. Now, this Power of the Force is a little different because you'll notice it comes with the chip. And
that's a later Power of the Force, yeah.
So, but normally, and he's not as big as the classic Power of the Force characters were. Yeah. They were very steroids. He-Man inspired. Luke Skywalker was like busting out of his tunic. I always thought that was kind of funny. But this one was very cool. You know, I was like, I'll get that one because of the chip. That was a big selling point for me. Having that little, you can always, oh, let's just hit the little communicator on it and get a little kick out of the stuff that's just hanging on your wall. Because eventually all this is going to be wallpaper for me. The episode 1 figures, their gimmick was the chip. So episode 2 comes out and their gimmick is accessories. So this was a time I thought was pretty cool because then we'd actually get Jedi figures with force flowing abilities that you can actually attach to their hands. I thought those things were really cool. The lightsabers themselves actually had little disruption around the blade there that I thought was very cool. Made them look a little more natural. And then you also had these blaster fire reflections that came with a lot of the figures. And the flowing figure like this, you can't do as many poses, but it is still very cool. You know, obviously this is the Geonosian battle. And then I got Django here with all of his different accessories. You know, got the jetpack, I got the grappling hook, his dual blasters, got the little antenna and the removable helmet and all that stuff. And this is very cool. You know, they always had these extra things that came along with them, which I liked as a kid. I liked accessories, although some of the ones I had were very, very difficult to hold on to. For some reason, I always would lose Luke Skywalker's green lightsaber and Han Solo's hand blaster. Those two things, never could hold on to them. So, okay, so we got Django. Let me get rid of these. Oh, Darth Tyrannus, obviously. We'll put him back up there. He's got his lightning. This is the attack or the battle with Yoda, and then his curved lightsaber there. All very cool. And then I got Zamwazel down here with the changeling face, which I thought, again, the accessories that they came out with at the time. Well, who says it better? Yogurt? Merchandising.
We put the picture's name on everything. Merchandising. Baseball's the flamethrower.
On this stuff, but we're going to try and keep it fast. I got the Super Battle Droid, which I like this one a lot. Actually came with some pieces so that you could do an exploding battle. Very kind of reminded me of the exploding speeder bike that came with the Return of the Jedi. Now this one here, unfortunately, got a little bit of color damage there, but we show him shooting the flamethrower rocket launcher, which again, very cool. They had several different R2-D2s. This is the one where he's saving or being the alarm clock. Fortunately, they don't work anymore. Oh! That one.
So can he go?
I have another one that didn't work. Wow.
Very
Pretty cool. But you can even kind of see the coloring on him.
And again, folks, like that one he was just showing, the Jango Fett that's all yellow. It's a great figure you can probably get on discount because you want to open it up. Like, so if you want to display a figure, again, you're going through bins, maybe you can't find one or whatever, you can find something that has like a damaged package or something like that. Because even a collectible shop has to acknowledge that some of those things just happen, and you can be the benefactor there of getting a good deal on something. It's funny how much that you can try to preserve some of these, but and I'll share this, Chris, just for a second. I'll take this picture down just for a second so you can see it as well. The 1985 Power of the Force. And look at how yellow it's gotten. Even though it's it's graded and it's stored in its case, it's still you can't really get some of the aging to stop.
Yeah,
Some
you
things
can't.
just
And
gonna
mine
happen.
weren't even out. Mine were in
No.
boxes. So I'm sure there could be some temperature, damage there and stuff like that. But yeah, sometimes you just can't do anything about it. Like you can see, all my other ones are almost in perfect shape. Why some of these ones come out where they got the plastic from could have been a factor too. Like I said, the character hair wires up. Why do some pieces stay white and some pieces don't? I'm not entirely sure.
All right. Well, again, we'll let Chris reset, and we'll throw in a commercial break or something here.
You can feel like a hero with Ruffles and Doritos 3D snacks. And Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. You can collect all the cool 3D Star things and see the hidden images, only in specially marked bags of 3D snacks. This summer, find the hero inside.
The galaxy's most legendary heroes, fearsome villains, and coolest vehicles.
Now available to take home and play with at Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC. Right now at participating KFC locations, you can get one of these cool Star Wars Episode 1 collectible toys inside every KFC kids meal you buy.
Do a little switch out for some of the different figures. Man, they just kept coming, man. Just kept coming.
So many. I mean, and I can't say I have anywhere near this full collection either. I mean, there was so many that came out. There's so many I look on the back of these boxes and I was like, I never even saw that one. But again, pre-internet era, hey, where you've seen this? Oh, I've seen this here, here, and here. Hey, this guy's having a sale. Hey, this store's on sale. Hey, have you seen the flea market? Those things we still had available to us back then. And the flea markets and garage sale market, I guess, is not what it used to be.
I will say that I think some of it's come back a little bit, which has been kind of nice.
Yes, I can't agree with that. Everything in the yard's $1 except that box of Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, but that's just a nerd like you or me knowing what they got.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's go ahead and get another 16.
I wanted to point out to everybody in the back there, look at how he has his trunk set up. So the trunk has it so they kind of like perfectly can line up inside of there, keep themselves perfectly safe and organized, and they're not going to bounce around and get dinged up on their edges and things like that. It's good to kind of have a plan and kind of come up with a strategy of how you want to store everything.
Yeah, that was something that worried me. There was a lot of times stuff was in storage and I didn't have a place to put it. I never had a time when even half this stuff was displayed. I've always known what I want to do. I've gotten some stuff up and then I had to move. And then some places it was not even worth putting it out. And then it was in storage for half a dozen years. So I'm just very fortunate. I've held on to it and everything's in as good a shape as it is. And I'm finally in a position where I will be able to display things, which is... We're kind of going into different realms here. And I will show all my clone figures that are in the box before I move on to Revenge of the Sith. But there was just so much that this guy, here, let's make all the Jedi too. Why don't we do that? You know what I mean? So, again, we got a ton of stuff here. Everybody comes with accessories and things. I was trying to find, I have Yoda with one of the younglings. I have another set of younglings, and I wanted to have the Tuskens here. I just thought it'd be funny to put all of Anakin's hatred in one screen, you know.
Yes.
So, but these were really cool. I mean, you got the little baby Tusken, and it moved. They're really good looking, detailed figures. It's got the little papoose that you can actually put the little guy in there. Yoda and got the little training hat, the little Padawan training hat, and his little lightsaber there. Yoda in his pram, and he actually is on a stand, so he will float when you display him, which I thought was very cool. Again, the accessories, going hardcore in on the accessories. Got another clone here. Let's just make another variation and put some junk on with him. So we have a rock that he can actually stand on, which is kind of nice. So it gives you, you know, something to pose with, and then he's got the firing tripod cannon. Very cool. This one, a lot of these clones have helmets that can come off. This one in particular doesn't, but I always thought that was a cool feature. They kind of showed off the characters. You know, if they took their helmets off, they tried to show them that in the figures, you know. This one I showed earlier, but then we got, you know, Padme Amidala. I saw this, I was like, oh, Return of the Jedi. So reminiscent. Even the way the costume kind of looked on her was like how Princess Leia looked in that scene.
Let me interrupt you for a second, Chris, and let me ask you, is it really interesting how we grew up there in this age of action figure revolution? I mean, we didn't have but 3 3/4 inch figures when we were really young. Star Wars brought it. Now look at them. You're like removable helmets and accessories and attachments, and that happened during our lifetime.
I know, that's what amazes me, and that's kind of what, when I was a kid, when my mother, just G.I. Joe was so large and Star Wars was so large. And I didn't necessarily have an interest, like I wanted both of them. But as a parent, it's smart. Hey, if you're going to go all in on one of these huge collections, pick one. So I went here. And yeah, Star Wars was my thing. That was what I wanted to see and play with and, you know, collect. And G.I. Joe was cool, but everybody I knew had G.I. Joe. But how those figures articulated was just so cool. And then when we got those finally, you know, they introduced them before the new movies. There was already some articulated ones. But, you know, I am a fan of this size. I do have some Black Series figures, and they're great. The detail's cool. They're larger. But it just, those little figures is where my toy box was, you know, literally. So even I had He-Man and they were a little bit bigger, but this size here is what I remember. This size is what I live around. All my friends had these. It's what fit in your hand, you know. They fit inside the play sets, and it all looked relatively the right size, you know. So I thought that was really cool too. And yeah, like you're saying, that time, I really just, how much could I have gotten that I should have? And how much money would it have taken? You know, but to have all that stuff, just to look back, and that's kind of what it is. Like, I look at this stuff and go, I remember when Luke didn't look like that, you know, and I had, like, this one I have here on the stack now, I had Luke Skywalker in the Bespin outfit from Empire Strikes Back, and he didn't look anything like this guy, you know. This guy's all battled down. Of course, this is after the battle, but there wasn't things like that. All your characters looked clean, you know, hero mode all the time. So, But this one I just really liked. You lose his hand, got the blaster. He's actually got the accessories. He's hanging underneath, Cloud City. And again, this is the collection. It's like, I can't pass this up having what we had in our youth. And it's like, if I'm buying figures now, yes, I will buy a better version of an old thing. And it's not exactly a better version. This is a different one. And these are things that I said, yes, they can make the stuff I had when I was a kid better. There are lines, we kind of go through that. We don't need things remade just to be remade. But, the marketing and George Lucas behind this is a major thing. I'm sure he had to okay a lot of stuff and a lot of check marks and a lot of yes, no. And we all know the control he had, and wanted to keep everything consistent and right and really just, I think, to me, George Lucas took advantage in a way that he wasn't taking advantage. He just, well, let's see what they'll buy. If they don't like it,
Yeah.
okay.
I think at the end of the day, he's kind of a nerd like us. So, all right, I'm going to let Chris reset again and move on to maybe some of the other stuff before we wrap up. And yeah, man, it's just so much fun. It's always just great to be able to kind of go back through and look at some of these different things. And we could easily have done Legos. We could have focused on some different things like that. And I know with Chris, it's just we're not even going to be able to do service to the amount of stuff he has, some of the different cool things he has sort of stowed away even. But we wanted to take a moment to do that, kind of walk you through some of that process of earlier today. You can catch the link in the description and go to the playlist, and you can see we were talking about the holiday special Sears catalogs. You've seen the commercials for some of these different kinds of things, and now you're looking at action figures that are having removable hands and articulation that's at a level that, we can only dream about because we were kids. Like, I still have a Darth Vader figure from when I was a kid who doesn't have a head because Empire Strikes Back, of course, Luke cuts the head off of his nightmare of battling Vader. So I still have that figure, the headless Vader figure, in my personal collection from when I was a little boy. So now you'd probably have a figure out there where, Vader can have a head taken off and put back. So, all right, let's head back over here. Figure out where we're at. All the multi-packs. Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is another one I'm pretty excited that I have. And I just realized the other day these were never opened. I thought I opened them at one point, but I guess I didn't. So what these are, this was something I saw in a magazine, and so it was special order only. And as you can see, it's the Mandalorians and the Clone Troopers. And these ones I really like because they were not available in stores. These variations were not there. And these are actually, what the story behind this is these Mandalorians were picked by Django to help train the Republic forces, mostly in hand-to-hand combat and special elite stuff and da-da-da-da. So
these
I
are
have this one.
these are very, very expensive. These are hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy these guys.
Wow,
so
you're kidding. I didn't even look anything.
Oh,
like
you don't
this
want
up.
to? Yeah, you don't want to know. These are sets that are hundreds of dollars.
So don't open these.
Do not open these.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Then I'm very glad that they're. See all the tape, still sealed. Still sealed. So, okay, what we got here, we got the 3 Mandalorians. Then you actually have a couple of the Clone Troopers, more like, not Republic Commando. These are the elite Clone Troop. No, these are, God, I can't believe I can't remember right now. But I'll do this one here, because I know these names. Now, this one here, again, you have 3 different Mandalorians. Now, this one was really cool for me. Now, a lot of people remember the video game, the Clone Trooper video game, Republic Commando, and that having Delta Squad. Me, I read the books in the EU that were coming out. Tons of books. Forget all the characters that were coming out. Dozens and dozens and dozens of books were released EU for Clone Wars. And there was several books that featured Omega Squad. So this is actually Omega Squad in the background in their black Katarn armor, which again is a very rare thing. You did not see it very often in figures, if at all, other than these guys. And so these ones, I'm very happy about these that I have. And these, I just always have loved these. Just more than anything. I mean, these are just so cool. Again, that Mandalorian, Boba Fett inspired it all. You know, so I have these.
These are nice.
Commando.
Now we're going to transition over to the case. Oh my gosh, it takes me back.
So this is basically just every time I saw a new color clone, I said, let's get one. But then what they start doing is they start making variations of the clones. So like I have, here's a normal clone trooper, there's another clone trooper, and then of course we have Cody. So I wanted to get his little squad. But then I have, where is it? Well, I have it in another one. This is what I started doing. I really wanted to reenact kind of a Geonosian battle, although these are not those clones, but I love the Clone Wars, so I went every time, see a different color, marketing, and I'll pick it up. Got a captain here, and then we got this one here is really nice with the little marks all over them. Got a hashtag in it. I've got like the driver version. And then this one's going to be a favorite, of course, because this is Scorch from Delta Squad. Again, accessories galore. Accessories galore. So this one's really cool. They did, again, you know, full articulation, hands, wrists, elbows, knees. Some of the characters will have ankles and, you know, that can pivot and move, so you can put them in full, you know, battle positions. I have a lot of the plates that will help them all stand up, which is nice. Then we have you got the purple group here. I think this is the one that took out Kiadi Mundi. Although I always put him with Mace Windu because it's purple. And then we got, again, just variations upon variations. Just different stuff. Can we make something different? I mean,
It's so interesting.
Just so many different ones, you know, and let's go even more. Let's go this guy, and this guy, and this guy. So it's just, they went all out on this stuff back then.
Let me ask you, is that an OG Vader case?
Yes, this is an OG Vader case. This was not my original. I just kind of ended up upon this. It was something that I wanted again because I had it when I was a kid. You can see all the stickers were put on. I've never put stickers on mine. I could never bring myself to put the stickers on my toys. I just couldn't do it. But here I want to show, since you said OG, I want to show I do have still my lone OG character.
Oh, look at him. Yeah. TIE fighter pilot.
Yep. So I got him, and I was fortunate enough to find this guy also. Now, this is kind of a new version of him. He got the clone pilot. But it's basically the same thing. Oh, I got a big fly in here.
Very, very cool.
Oh, it's up there. It's a B. Well, tell me if it bothers you. And then, again, being that stuff, let's get an X-Wing pilot. I had an X-Wing, so let me get a Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. Really nice looking compared to what I had in my old
we
toy
were
when
kids.
I was a kid. You know, just amazing, amazing. The helmet comes off. All this stuff is just so cool. Oh, it's on there pretty good. I'm not gonna worry about it.
I'm gonna say, wait a second. I don't think I can handle watching Luke get decapitated in front of me here. So don't do
nothing
that.
like that. And then I have, where was that last one? Well, that might be it right now.
Okay, that's fine. We're running on the we're running on the time here a little bit too. So I want to make sure we get to a couple more things here.
Yep. So we'll stack all these in there. But yeah, I mean, overwhelming the amount of colors. Here, let's make purple, orange, blue, green, dark green, light blue, dark blue, purple. Just so many. And then again, let's, all the ones we knew their names all had very distinct armor and distinct looks. Captain Cody and Rex and everybody's commander didn't look like a normal clone anymore. Okay, so we'll get down toward the end. I'll throw this one down first. Gotta pay homage to George Lucas. This is actually the figure of George Lucas's son here. So I thought this one was pretty funny. While they were in the movie also, I may have their figures. I just thought this one was really cool. And now we have a totally new. This was not the smartest bubble, smartest packaging in my opinion. It just didn't really. They actually had to tape the bubbles on because there was no way really for them to fix it. So it's half fixed and then half taped. Which
I always thought that it just reduced the space on the shelf, and it was a bad move in that regard.
I mean, it does, and it I mean, I don't know. You tell me. They don't pack up the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So we'll just go through. Let me see if I can find something that may not be seen. Oh, she's relevant right now, right? Got some more Mothma. Again, with the Jedis, always. I mean, George Lucas loved showing off his Jedis. So I got the Separatist battle droid. Got one of the droids that works on Darth Vader there at the end. And I can't even say how many R2-D2s that they made. Just, let's give him different parts, or let's give him that third leg, or let's just make him do something, his wheels actually roll. Things like that. It was, you can't come up with enough. And we're back to the clones. Again, they really were my thing. I love the clones so much. And again, we're just going variations. And then we'll get into, let's see, we got Chewbacca, a lot of the clones, more R2. Oh, I often wonder what it feels like to have an action figure made of you. I mean, some of these guys just got to be beside themselves, being able to be in something and then get to watch themselves and then see themselves on a shelf. They're like, oh my God, I'm a toy. I mean, some of them, the way they talk and everything, is just they're such fans, like we are. And it's just really, really cool to see. And I thought this one here is actually pretty cool. Just a hologram. Although I thought it was a strange action figure to make. But it's still very cool. Got that blue. I thought they pulled it off pretty good. I got a Wookiee warrior here.
Wookiee warriors were cool looking.
Yeah, he's very black chrysanthemum looking. I mean, obviously they probably are using a similar mold. But even, you can see his elbows and wrists will all move. And I don't have any of my. Here's another Wookiee warrior here. Just good.
Yeah, they're awesome.
On the colors. It was these ones I thought were some of the best looking Wookiee figures that they had come out with. Because sometimes, I mean, hair is tough. But sometimes like this, and they got the little fur flares. Sometimes it gets a little nuts like that, but this is actually Chewbacca, but it got him in an action pose. And then again, more clone variations. And just, let's see, I don't even know. I can honestly say I never went through the lists of these to see all these. But like I look on here right now, and like I don't have that particular clone pilot. I don't have deformed Palpatine, I don't think. But like all the rest of these, I got Yoda here. And then he actually comes with a little play piece accessory that helps him jump and spin. And then there's a Tarful. I'm pretty sure I have Tarful in here somewhere. Let's see. Oh, there's a good one too. Got the General Grievous. His full cloak. It's pretty nice looking there.
Yeah, my kids got that one. It was awesome.
And that, yeah,
you can split him open. Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. See, you actually got to play with them. I didn't ever get to play with them.
Well, I have little boys. We had to play with them.
Let's see. I got anything else really good here in here? Oh, here's a good one. I did have him from Return of the Jedi, so this was kind of nice that they made that again. I think they've always done the Tarkin figure well enough.
Okay.
I've never been disappointed with any depiction they've had of him in this stuff, so I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, just more and more of the same, you know. Let's make some money.
All right, so as we
gotta show that. Of course, gotta show that. It's what it's all about right there. The whole darn story.
So as we wrap up on that, let me ask you this: what is your thoughts on, like, I mean, you kind of mentioned some of your regrets, but what do you do to kind of enjoy it and kind of take it all in?
What do I do to enjoy Star Wars?
No, well, this collection that you have.
Oh, well, eventually the point is to have it out. You know, it's not a lot of stuff I can interact with, but I just figure, you know, I knew from a long time ago, there was stuff that I knew I would never get rid of. And it wasn't even Star Wars. Like, there's always been things that I've had, you know, sentimental reasons or whatever. And so some of my collections grew from there. And, you know, like we mentioned, this is actually a portion of my Star Wars. I have a few other things that I collect that's all going to kind of come out. And it really is just to have a space. As we get older, there's, like, I honestly don't know anybody in my life over 30 that could have a discussion like this. They're not interested. Many people don't have hobbies. They work, they come home, they have their, you know, home life and work life. They don't do much else. And I've always held on to this because I know, especially the last few years dealing with what we've dealt with, surround yourself with things that bring you joy. I can look at so many of these things and flash thousands of memories. It brings a smile to my face. It's just like looking at any picture or anything like that, except there's a memory with this. I remember buying it. I remember seeing it in the theaters. I remember seeing it in the aisles. Like you said, you go into those toy aisles and literally the whole wall of a whole aisle filled with just this. And that's what I'm going to do. Eventually, the point is to have it all out, whether I can interact with it. Like, you know, there's lots of stuff that you can play with. As we get older, we're going to progress. This is going to go to somebody. Someone's going to play it. We have nieces and nephews already. I have a nephew right now who's just dying to get in here and see all this stuff. I did pull more and more stuff out, and he can't believe how much stuff there is. And with this stuff, I was getting ready. It's like, can I play with it? Can I have it? It's like, sorry, buddy. This is like older than you and your sister put together.
Yeah, we're going to work our way up to it.
So this is just a way for me to enjoy what I enjoy. And if I don't have it, it's just a memory. There's how many times you just sit down with somebody, you'll just flash and see something. Like when I talk to you about seeing those commercials, it's like, I remember that. I remember that. Emotional connection, you know, with things from childhood. Same kind of thing. But I'll share it with anybody who wants to do it. And I just, you know, and I enjoy being able to talk with you on this. There's not many that I can talk to. And so these times that I have, it's just too excited. And like you said, we can't talk about it all. There's just not enough time.
Well, listen, man, I'm so glad we were able to do this, spend our time together, and hopefully folks at home were able to have a great time doing the Star Wars Day stuff too. And thanks to Chris Padawannabe for his time and hanging out with us. And it would only be appropriate we go out with some more commercials, right? It seems like we kind of like a theme keeps running through the day. So we're going to do that and more shows and stuff coming up. Take care, folks. Thanks for watching. Happy Star Wars Day.
What are you guys doing?
Now you can feel like a Jedi with new Go-Gurt glow-in-the-dark lightsaber tubes. There's 16 different tubes for a limited time only.
Mom's gonna be back in 30 minutes.
Cool. 30 minutes.
Star Wars Attack of the Clones in theaters May 16th. You can grab Go-Gurt and go.
Mighty Mugs! In a world where it's important to put your best mug forward, you might feel frustrated, exhilarated, or downright confused. Just remember, no matter what, the mug doesn't fall far from the tree. You can collect them all. Mighty Mugs, each sold separately.
You're watching Star Wars Day with Bobs.
Star Wars begun. The Clone War has. The Geonosis Battle Arena, where you can control all the action. Jedi heroes fight off countless enemies with powerful force action as the arena erupts in chaos.
Look!
Even the odds with the Republic gunship. The epic battle for the galaxy is in your hands. Star Wars vehicle and playset each sold separately. Figures not included. Some assembly required.
It's the Star Wars Imperial Troop Transporter that you put together. Batteries not included. Stormtrooper sold separately.
What's that? It's my troop transporter. It makes 5 more sounds, too.
R2-D2, where are you?
There's the laser cannon, stun gun, and stormtrooper.
Did he say that?
Oh, Dad.
Star Wars Imperial Troop Transporter. Stormtrooper sold separately. New from Kenner.
Star Wars Transformers. The Slave One and the Millennium Falcon locked in combat. Suddenly, the Slave One unleashes its secret weapon, changing into the deviously destructive Boba Fett mech.
Oh, yeah? What's this?
But the Millennium Falcon has a surprise of its own, doubling its power by changing into the heroic Han Solo and Chewbacca mechs.
Charge up the main gun.
Great shot, kid. That was 1 in a million.
Star Wars Transformers, Millennium Falcon and Slave One sold separately.